Batman is playing Galaga.
Welcome to Retro Gamer with Tall Paul.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
Welcome back. We're in a brand new studio setup in my basement, and we'll jump right into the gameplay video of the day. I'm always grinding on this MS PAC-MAN game. I'm going to give it another shot here, see what we can do. At the end of today's video, we'll check out the leaderboards and see if I'm able to move up at all. Due to popular demand, I'm going to tell another story about my brother Randy and our exploits back in our high school days. Now, despite tales of us fighting as kids, my brother and I were actually very protective of each other. I can mess with my brother, he can mess with me, but nobody messes with my brother. That was our philosophy. And that leads us to the tale of the sloppy Whopper. My senior year, Randy was a sophomore and pulled up to the varsity basketball team during the preseason. On my high school team was another senior forward about 6'6" named Flim. Flim and I were actually born on the same day, and they called us the Twin Towers. Flim had a little brother named Flam, who was a sophomore and also practicing with the varsity during the preseason. During this time, there got to be a little bit of a rivalry between me and my sophomore brother and Flim and Flam for some reason. One night, we went to the parking lot after practice, and my car was wet, and it was not raining out. And it was wet in a weird way, all over my driver's side door and passenger side door. Being a little slow on the uptake, I touched the door. And my brother said, "Oh, don't touch that. They pissed on it." And I said, "Who pissed on it?" Let's pause for the screen break. Well, as soon as I asked the question, it was answered, as Flim and Flam drove away in Flim's truck laughing. Immediately, I was upset about this. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't really much like confrontation. And these guys were on my basketball team, so what am I going to do? Randy said, "Hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to handle it." I'm like, "Handle it how?" He said, "Don't worry about it." Then the next day before we went to practice, Randy said, "Stop at Burger King." He said, "Stop, go through the drive-thru, buy a Whopper." Okay. So I pull up to the drive-thru to order this Whopper, and my brother says to me, "Tell him to make it extra juicy." At this time of my life, my part-time job was at this Burger King, and I know everybody who works there. And I know the voice on the drive-thru intercom is a guy named David. David followed the lifestyle of partaking in the devil's lettuce. And I heard his very distinct voice on the intercom. As I'm ordering the Whopper, my brother says, "Have him give us extra ketchup packets." So I say, "David, make the Whopper extra juicy and give us extra ketchup packets." I hear David's voice through the drive-thru speaker say, "Oh, what are you guys going to do?" When we pulled up to the drive-thru window, David handed me a paper bag filled with one Whopper and the rest ketchup packets. It seemed like hundreds of ketchup packets. David had hooked us up. So despite him asking us once again, "What are you going to do?" Randy and I both just smiled and left. When we got to the high school, I just went inside for practice. My brother took the Whopper and met me inside later. I honestly did not know what was going to happen, just trusting Randy to handle whatever business he was going to handle. Time to pause for a screen break. When it comes to Randy, I knew it was going to be epic. But I was going to leave it up to Randy and his imagination. When practice ended that night, I had to stay to run extra running because I had been late for a previous practice. So I'm in the gym, finishing up my extra running, and I decided to get out to the parking lot. As I'm walking out to the parking lot, I see Flim walking back in, holding his face, like holding his jaw, sort of walking like, and I'm thinking, oh no, what happened? So I hustle out to my car. When I get to the parking lot, there I see it. Flim's truck. The windshield covered in mayonnaise. The doors covered in ketchup. The seats inside the truck covered in ketchup. Randy had taken that sloppy Whopper and wreaked havoc all over Flim's truck. Then I see my brother standing there in his practice gear, holding his brand new green Celtics jacket, shaking from a massive adrenaline dump, standing there shaking with anger. And I hear one of the junior guards yell out to him, "It's okay, man. You knocked him out." I ask out loud, what happened? The following is the order of events as was related to me by Randy and the eyewitnesses. At the conclusion of practice that night, Randy heads to the parking lot to see Flim and Flam's reaction to his sloppy Whopper masterpiece. Flim, being no idiot, immediately knows who's responsible for the destruction of his truck. And he turns to Randy and says, "I'm going to give you two choices. Choice number one, you clean up my truck. Choice number two, I kick your ass." Randy, never being intimidated by anybody, says, "I'll take the second choice." Flim then proceeds to walk over to my brother and grab his brand new Celtics jacket as if he's going to take that jacket and wipe his truck up with it. Randy, being no punk, says, "I don't think so," and grabs his jacket back. Randy then turns away to walk to my car and wait for me, thinking the confrontation is now over. Evidently, Flim runs up on Randy, and as Randy turns around, Flim punches him in the face. According to eyewitnesses, Randy pivots and slugs Flim in the face with his left hand, which is his offhand, right in the jaw. This punch connects with Flim's off switch, and he goes immediately down. Flim proceeds to immediately pick himself up, gather his belongings, and stumble his way back to the gym where I originally saw him walking in, unaware of where he is or what's going on. Randy had actually knocked him stupid. Suddenly we hear our varsity coach yelling to the parking lot, "Who knocked the crap out of Flim?" Pause for the best screen break ever. Randy and I got in our car and left. Do I feel a little ashamed that I let my little brother fight this battle? Yeah. Did I know it was going to blow up into a fist fight in the parking lot? No. And needless to say, all pranks ended that night. Nothing was said about this incident at school. Neither of us got into any sort of trouble. Now, as for between teammates, no mention of this event was ever made again. Flim nor Flam discussed it with anybody. And my brother and I didn't say anything about it unless we were asked. Practice that next Monday was uneventful until we had a rebounding drill. During the rebounding drill, Flim and my brother were jockeying for position under the board, trying to grab the rebounds. Flim was playing it a little bit dirty. Suddenly you hear my brother's voice say to him, "Flim, don't make me punch you again." And we're just about on the record. And there it goes, my personal best. Every point a new record. Thanks for watching this video. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about it. Maybe subscribe. I don't know. Well, let's go to the leaderboards and see what happened. But that's a high score. Looks like I was at 109 under Game God, and now I'm 184 under Kerbiz. Coming for you, Kerbiz. Thanks for watching the video. Click on the links to watch more.